After leaving Thriller, the Straw Hats arrive at the Red Line, which is halfway across the Green Line and the entrance to the second part of the Green Line called the New World. The two ways to go over the Red Line involved you going to Marijua, which is where the Celestial Dragons live, and you have to abandon your ship, or to go under the Red Line through Fishman Island. So obviously the Straw Hats chose Fishman Island. But then a sea monster spits out a starfish and a mermaid called Kami, much to Sanji's delight, onto their ship. Things happen and they go to rescue Kami's friend from the Flying Fish Riders. They're a gang that kidnaps people and sells them off in the slave auction. The friend that they went to save happened to be Hachi, who belonged in Arlong's crew and tortured Nami and her city. But because Nami and our Straw Hats are the best people in the world, they put their differences aside and rescued him because he's Kami's friend. So anyway, we find out more about the One Piece world. The Straw Hats learn about the Celestial Dragons, who happen to be descendants of the nobles that cannot be touched. If not, you would get an admiral's tent on your ass. And the nature of the slave trade that happens with the discrimination of different types of people in the One Piece world. They then arrive at Saboady, which is an archipelago, for the purpose of finding someone to coat their ship, because that's the only way that they can go down all the way to Fishman Island. There, they go to a bar, Shaky's bar, who happened to be owned by Shaky, and she tells us about the worst generation, which happened to be the new rookies that are all over 100 million in bounty, which also happened to be on the island at the same time because they all went to go to the next step in the Grand Line. The new generation included Luffy, Zoro, Law, and other people. On the island, Zoro encounters a Celestial Dragon who ends up shooting Zoro. And because Zoro doesn't care, almost attacks the Celestial Dragon, but is then stopped by Bonnie, one of the pirates in the worst generation. While that is happening, Kami gets kidnapped and taken to the slave auction because she's a mermaid and she's very valuable to the Celestial Dragons. And of course, the Straw Hats go to rescue her. And that's where we meet Rayleigh, who happened to be the vice captain of the Roger Pirates, the Pirate King's crew. And he ends up removing Kami's collar using a mysterious technique that we don't know anything about. Hachi unfortunately gets mercilessly shot by the Celestial Dragon, and oh my god, infuriating. But best believe that one of the best scenes in the whole entirety of One Piece happens. Luffy, pissed off, walks up to the Celestial Dragon and gives him the most satisfying punch you would ever see. No! Of course, this is unheard of in the One Piece world because that means an admiral is going to be sent. They end up rescuing Kami and escaping the auction hall, but the auction hall is attacked by Marines, and then we finally get to see some of the worst generation in action. These include Luffy, Law, and Kid, who happen to be the best three in the worst generation, in my opinion. Well, Zoro is there, but he's not a captain. I meant best three captains. The Straw Hats go back to the bar, and they finally meet Rayleigh one-on-one and have a conversation with him. He tells them how he was the vice captain of the crew. Obviously, everybody was happy to hear that, especially Luffy. We've learned about Shanks being an apprentice in the crew, another fact surprising to Luffy. And the Roger Pirates actually did get to the end of the world, find the One Piece, and they know the history of the world. Usopp almost asked what the One Piece was, but was swiftly stopped by his captain because that meant it would destroy or ruin the adventure. This was something that stuck with Rayleigh because he felt a connection between Luffy and the Pirate King, the same thing that Shanks felt when he met Luffy as a kid, which is one of the reasons why he sacrificed his arm and his hat, just because he believed in Luffy and he sounded like his captain. To speed things up, Rayleigh agrees to coat their ship, but it was going to take a couple days, so the Straw Hats had to move around town in order not to be caught by the Marines. And this is where shit gets real. With the arrival of Kizaru, all the pirates on the island get their asses whooped, including the Straw Hats. In fact, Kizaru almost kills Zoro until he was rescued by Rayleigh. And Luffy uses that opportunity to tell his crew to run away and regroup in a safer location so they can escape. But before that, they encounter a pacifista who happened to look like Kuma, but is actually a robot, who shoots lasers and is incredibly durable. It took the whole Straw Hat crew to bring one down, and after successfully bringing down one, they saw another one and another one, so they couldn't really escape. And to top that off, the real Kuma appears, the same one that they met on Thrillerback. Well, Zoro met on Thrillerback. He starts by attacking Zoro and using his pawpaw fruit to make him vanish, much to the despair of the crew because everybody thought he died. And one by one, he went through each member of the crew and paused them away from Luffy. Obviously, of course, Luffy thinks his crewmates are dead until there was nobody remained and it was just him. At that point, Luffy couldn't do anything but cry because he just thought he lost his whole crew. But then Kuma ends Luffy's misery by pouring him away also, and taking him to Amazon Lily, which is an island of all women, and we would continue that one and Impel Down in the next video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all our subscribers that have been holding us down. We're actually about to get to 1K very soon. Thumbs out.